So, some clever people, like not cynically, really clever guys, mentioned that maybe it's fitting that this will be a grand execution of the Chamber of the Cherubs, because of course Yom Kippur is is the only time in the year, according to the Jewish tradition, where a person, only one person, the grand priest, the chief rabbi, lord commander of the fleet at its time, was allowed to enter the Chamber of the Cherubs. It's interesting because it was, according to the Book of Kings, it was a huge work of art, and really in a culture that has always had been, and until today, and thousands of years ago, was against the visual arts, as opposed to every other culture. But this was an exception, because it was two huge, according to the Book of Kings, it was two huge sculptures of creatures that we don't really understand what they were. We only know that they had huge wings, like 5 meters wings, and they were made of wood that was imported and covered with gold. According to most interpretations, to the regular interpretation is that these were actually humans that with wings, the archetype of angels, and this relies on the fact that many times the cherubs were known to be just look like humans. In many traditions of the Near East, that it's also kind of the view of many of the what you call Chazal, the people that wrote the Mishnah and Talmud, that they just look like humans. And the wings, can, of course, metaphorically, either metaphorically or not, can, symbolize, the fact that they are divine creatures. But you cannot rule out, the possibility from the text, you cannot rule out that they were actually, the more pagan, I would say, interpretation of the cherubs as they were known in the Near East, and they can still be found in archaeological ruins in Persia, like Iran, like modern Iran, or ancient Persia, and also other places like Syria, and which means more of a sphinx style, the body of lion or ox, and face of human, and the wings of a bird. And again, this kind of idea is also referenced in the Bible, so in the book of Ezekiel. So it's not. It's very difficult to say what were the people of the ancient people of Israel thought about the cherubs, because again they did not leave much material evidence, because they were traditionally not favor of sculptures, as opposed to all other civilizations. So anyway, the Chamber of the Cherubs, maybe it's time to elaborate on, because this is kind of the big thing today. We will make it more elaborate than before. So I should speak a little bit. I don't know if people listen, but even for the documentation, it's important. So I'll just add a little bit of layers of of the symbolic language. I should start with a story from my life, as a married person. It's not of a great significance. Just of course, at the time, I didn't know anything about my peculiar nature. Only during 2019, I started this kind of journey, and it was more than a year, a year and a half after my final divorce, and 2 years after the breakup. So, but anyway, I lived in Jerusalem with my girlfriend, soon to be wife, and then wife, in Jerusalem, and my ex-wife, she had, usually, I must say that she didn't have many weird habits. She was actually a person that was kind of she didn't have much stuff, much less than, as usual, for women, and actually men as well, but it was even part of their ideology. Now, this is somewhat, it was very strong when she was single, but after the children were born, and even after the divorce, we were still in daily, communication. Up until the arrest, 10 months ago, because we raised the children together, the daughters. And since they were born, so joint custody. So they're always, only with the things relating to the girls. But there are so many of the things, you know, like, when you raise children and there is a ton of like, day-to-day stuff to coordinate. So I mean, it's kind of like, I mean, it's a little bit broken her staunch ideology from like her days as a single person, that like not to hold stuff at all, like not to have stuff, like to have very little like amount of material possession, and even to load the I mean, to some extent it's kind of like, I mean, it's alienating, because yes, I mean, we're material creatures, and I mean, we are defined also not only it shouldn't be done too much. She's right that too much is not good, but I mean, and I have many hoarders in my family, and it's not non-healthy at all. Like, I mean, to hold like shit, like, I mean, from many decades, and not to be able to throw it to the trash or to give it to charity. But I mean, it's somewhat. I mean, we are also defined by a lot of material possession that we have, and we like imbue them with value. I mean, and like, even souvenirs or things that are close to our heart. And she almost had none of it. Like when she went when she moved to Jerusalem, like to live with me, I helped her like do the moving. We took everything in my car, like a private car, Peugeot 208. Like, I mean, she almost had nothing. So she had some stuff in her mother's apartment, but not much. And this is, I mean, it was kind of like she presented it as an ideology, like. And anyway, she had one peculiar habit that she very quickly picked on when she lived in Jerusalem, and it was something that was kind of like, I mean, that she always did, like religiously did, like, I mean, like she couldn't miss it, which meant like almost every week. I mean, every week it was mostly during Fridays, like Friday morning or Friday noon. And when after the children were born, it was very important that I will actually, of course, be with the daughters when, I mean, during this time. It was Friday morning or Friday noon, something like that, Friday 11, something like that. She went to a specific woman in Jerusalem. It was near the Machne Yehuda market. I forgot her name. Supposedly like a Mizrahi Jew, old Mizrahi Jew. I never seen her, even though I many times I drove I drove my ex-wife to his apartment, like near the Machne Yehuda Shuk. So presumably she is that old lady. She is, I mean, doing her nails, because she always colored her nails, but I mean, she scratched it, I mean, right after that. So I mean, on every Friday it was already, I mean, she needed like to redo the nails, and for some reason, I don't know why, she had to do it like with this female, like, I mean, that, I mean, even though she wasn't like, I mean, the person that, I mean, she wasn't like, I mean, a person that, I mean, doesn't do things by her own, like, or wants other people to do things for her, like, I mean, all the time. Like, she could have done it by herself, but I mean, it was her thing, like maybe a peculiar habit that every Friday, 11, she, like, something like that, she need to go there to do the nails. And sometimes, like, I mean, there were several occasions in which, like, I mean, like, I maybe, I mean, even before we have children, I mean, I wanted her to do something else during this time. So I like maybe thought that, I told her, like, maybe don't go today, let's go to, I don't know, to the beach or something with friends. But she was like terrified by this possibility, like really, and she started like, a scene that I was kind of like terrified. And after the children were born, I mean, it was incredibly important that, I mean, I will be with them, like, I mean, during these times, like, I mean, and there was no possibility to change. If even like one, maybe I forgot about like the sanctity of this ceremony. I mean, so I kind of like, I mean, raised the option, like, maybe, don't go today, or just over the phone, maybe so. And she was like, I mean, she shouted, and she was like, I mean, it really, I mean, like, shook her completely out, and she became like, I don't know, she like went crazy, like out of her nerves. So I quickly understood, I mean, this should not be touched. Like, I mean, she must go there, like, to do the nails every Friday. It's incredibly, I mean, it's like, I mean, something that you cannot not do. I mean, it's more important than everything. It was terrifying, but I mean, I learned to accept it. So let's get back to the Chamber of the Cherubs and Yom Kippur. So as you understand, we have the complete structure is 12 paintings. Could be sculptures as well. And I mean, painting is, I mean, and in the past I've done it a lot with sculptures and also all sorts of containers. And there are many ways to do it. But I mean, like, I mean, you heard the honking, like, because I said there are many ways to do it, which is kind of like reminds him of sex, of like, LGBTQ sex, which is very, it's very funny because, I mean, it's funny because it's related to gay sex, which is the only thing that exists in this world, at least in the world of the people that worship the S God, that is everyone in Israel. These are the people, and these people will, I mean, most of them will actually go to the synagogue this evening and maybe tomorrow morning as well, and will, I mean, even, you know, unorthodox, even secular people, even some atheists will go to the synagogue, and there will be, I mean, many of them will fast, like they will not eat for 25 hours. And of course, I mean, they will not watch TV, and they will walk on the streets, you know, dressed in white and without leather shoes. I mean, with, you know, shoes that, I mean, are not made of leather, and they will not wash their faces and their mouths like during this day, because this is the holiest day, and this is their time, most holy day of the year, when these people are, I mean, it's dedicated. They dedicate this day to atonement of their sins. They ask God to forgive them for the sins and to write their name in the good book for this year. This is the people of Israel, and all of them are exactly the same people that are honking in their car outside my room when I say you could do many things, or anything that is even remotely related to anal sex, which is the only thing that is in their mind. And of course, they torture people without end. And yesterday night, after I cleaned their bodies from this horrible germ, all of them wrote me, like when I went out, like, I mean, to put the garbage, like, in you know, outside. All of them, like, I mean, they started, you know, they initiated the process where they, I mean, transferred diseases to me and take my energy for me. All of them. And of course, today, after I woke up and they continuously, I mean, received clues that the robot is still under their command. You've heard, like, the noises, the screams, people of the apartment, you know, people of the gun. They started to say, okay, the robot is now under our command. He went out, the radiation stopped, he cleaned our bodies from the germ. Let's subdue him, let's crush him, let's make him our boot now, before other people will make him our boot, because he's in a vulnerable situation. So that's the time to enslave him, to make a handmaid out of him. This is the same, exactly, you need to understand, these people are exactly the same people that you will see in various synagogues all over Israel today and tomorrow. They are not different kinds. These are the same people, whether they are Orthodox, like ultra-Orthodox, modern Orthodox, like, I mean, דתיים לאומיים, חרדיים, חילוניים, דתל"שים, דתיים לייט, אתאיסטים, קיבוצניקים, all of them will do everything which is in their power to crush the person that they owe their life to, even after the person cleaned their body from horrible germs that they themselves infected themselves with. Even after that, they will crush him. And these people, most of them will actually, you will be able to see them in various synagogues. This is the day with by far the highest attendance of synagogue all over the year. Admittedly, it's less than before, like, I mean, maybe 20 or 30 years ago, it was, almost everyone, like, everyone went to the synagogue. It was the one day of the year that everyone went to the synagogue. So it's not like that today, but still, huge percentage of the population, including huge percentage of the intelligence sector and the security sector, you will find them in the synagogues today and tomorrow. While they torture the person that gives them life. This is Israel, and these are humans. This is Israel, and these are humans. This is Israel, and these are humans. These are humans. You will see them in various synagogues all over the country today. And of course in other places all over the world. They will pray to God to forgive them for their sins while they crush the person that they owe their life to. While he is cleaning them of their diseases, they will make a boot out of him at the same time where they attend synagogues all over the country. At the same time! This is Israel, and these are humans. These are humans. These are humans, because this bit of snake could not have existed without huge support of the United States and other countries as well. And you will all pay for your sins. We will never forgive you. You need to understand something. Even in the best case scenario, where miraculously you start to move arms and legs to rescue me from this Nazi hell, radiation will not stop. And for certainly, I can guarantee you one thing. We will shorten the lifespan of humans. It will not be 82 or 83 or whatever it is like in the developed world. And it will not be 200 or 300 or whatever, you aspire to. No. At a minimum, it will be dramatically shortened. I don't know, 50 or 60, but something like that. Can we do it? Barely an inconvenience. Barely an inconvenience to shorten your lifespan to 60 or 50. And this is the minimum. The maximum punishment is complete annihilation of every Homo sapiens in this world. And it seems that we go in this path. It seems that this is the best to go because, I mean, I don't see an arm or a leg moved. Only more torture and only more ego. Only more torment. These are humans. I tell you again, even if all the world will now come to their senses and run to Israel to rescue me and my daughters from the Nazi hell, even then, we will shorten the lifespans of humans by a significant amount of years. Maybe to 50 or 60, something, not much more than that. That's it. That's your maximum lifespan. That's the way it is going to be. Most of history, it was less than that, so you're still in a better situation than what you've been most of your history. But it will not be like what it is today, and certainly, forget any possibility that, for future development, because it will never happen. Needless to say, you are stuck on Earth, you will never leave Earth, you don't have the energy to do it, and you will never receive the energy to do it. You've terminated your relationship with the Cherubs. The only relationship that you have with them now is that they are frying you and killing you. That's because you started a war with them. You submitted this social work review to the court, where it's written that I cannot see my children, even though I told you this will be a declaration of war. You stop it at all costs, but you didn't move an arm or a leg. This was the declaration of war, and now you are a part of a war. Yes, they will never forgive you. No matter that, for thousands of years they supported you. You can be sure that along this time, many times you've, make them very angry on you. But this time, this is the last time. They will never forgive you for what you've done. You will never leave Earth. Your lifespan will substantially be decreased, substantially. And that in the best case scenario where you move your arms and legs now to Israel to rescue me and my daughters. And I don't see an arm or a leg, only mouths and tongues. So probably the best to go is complete annihilation. But at the best case, miraculously you will all come to your senses and move to Israel. Move now! I tell you that you will never leave Earth. This is a promise. The Cherubs will never help you with anything at all. They abandon you forever. And your lifespan will substantially be decreased. Substantially so. This is a promise. 50 or 60, something like that. No more than that. No more than that. No more than that. And only on Earth. You will never have the energy to even think about going anywhere else. I assure you. And the gates will be opened long after any human is long dead. So don't even think about the gates. You have no energy. And you have no gates, you are locked on Earth, and your lifespan will substantially be decreased, and this is the best case scenario. And while this happens, the people of Israel will go to the synagogues today and tomorrow to pray. Huge percentage of the population. Not a car will be seen in the streets. Not a car, one car. The roads are famously empty during Yom Kippur. No one drives, it's kind of like a consensus against it. Like to keep the holy way. You can walk in whatever highway you want during Yom Kippur. It was always like that. It's one of the signature of the state of Israel. During Yom Kippur, you can walk whatever you want in any road because there are no cars. Everybody respects the holiness of the day. And at the same time, they torture the person that their life depends on him, while he is cleaning them of their diseases. At the same time, these are humans. These are humans. These are humans. Not what you wanted them to be. These are humans. These are humans. Let's continue with the discussion of the chamber. So you've already understand that, there are possibly 12 paintings, like with the yellow background, the orange background, and the black background. Possibly you can add brown or in blue to signify life form that exists specifically on the sea or the ground. But I will not do it. It's not very incredibly important because much more important is the other three. If I wanted to add these kind of things, I will use brown or blue backgrounds, like to signify like an indication of krakens or leviathan. By the way, if you've spotted one on the Earth and like your photographs, please, pick what didn't happen, as they say. It's very interesting to think like about the kraken that exists in the seas and hunt the Trident submarines. Like pretty nice. So if you have photos, please share. But most probably I will not have the time for that. Maybe I will. We'll see about it. More importantly are the three: the yellow, the red, and the black. The black signifies things that happen in space, and it's always needed. At least some component of it is always needed for the map, for the solar system map. As I mentioned, the paintings or the sculptures are in effect as long as they are moving. Like drying or electricity or fire also consists of moving. But if they stop move, or if I like put it out like of the light, like in the closet or something like that, then it stopped being in effect. But if it's something that that is just it's that's there, it does not disappear. It's not like the starship disappear if you remove the painting. Like you need to paint like them go away. I mean, it's like to signify them to go away if you want them to go away, because they're still there. There is one exception, which is everything that relates to the solar system itself, because it's always moving and it's always in the sky. So you always have like the symbol, like I mean the grand symbol of the solar system, which is the solar system itself. So it's always there. So if you want to change something with the solar system, you need specifically to paint it. And if you want, like for example, the chamber, like the command will be applied only on Earth, for example, and not in Venus or not in Jupiter. You need to actually like do, I mean, like what you see here, that the Jupiter, like I mean, to color in black and white the planets that are not, you don't want them to be affected, because otherwise there is the picture of the solar system itself, which is the solar system up above, that signifies it's always moving, and you can of course see Jupiter, and it's not black and white, as you know very well. Of course, today we don't need more black painting besides the ones that are needed for the signifier of the solar system. The orange one will be slightly modified, not by much, and of course we will introduce 4 new red paintings, which will I start to prepare very soon. I need to cut, the canvases, and it takes some time. But it's good if you take some, because I mean it gives you some time to, important things should be, should take some time. Like, I mean, so it will not be like it's sleight of hand. So I mean, I'm okay with the fact that it takes some time. It will take a couple of hours, but they will be ready. And actually, as I said, I don't know what will actually be depicted in his pictures. If you have any suggestion, please. I mean, I'm open to suggestion. But in any ways, it will be one of the many ways that signify very simple thing. Any red blood creature, which is both Titans and Homo sapienses, that have neuros in their body, that some kind of a chain reaction will start in their body. Again, the cleanest way is, is to separate like the particles of the hydrogen atoms, because then there is really very little to clean. But there are other ways as well, so I'll think about it in the next couple of hours. We mentioned there is issue of myself, like where I am in this. Like I don't want to be included, of course. So mostly, as you all know, this relates to voice. Like if I speak, I'm in minutes. Like if not, I'm not. That's something that many of you understood like years ago. That's why it's always important for the people of Israel that I will not speak unless there is some kind of specific situation where they want me to speak. Like then this all depends on the symbolic constructions that are around me. But when I speak, I'm a part of that, like the objects that are the command applies on them. Like my color is my speech. I don't have a color. I have speech. I have voice. Like I'm not like planet Jupiter that if it's like black and white, like it's like out of the game, or if it's color like is in the game. Like I'm in the game not because of my color, but because that I speak. And actually many Israelis understood it along ago, as I said, and this was demonstrated by the way that they treated me, on lots of occasions. Mostly they didn't want me to speak, but sometimes they intentionally didn't want me specifically to speak. There is the exclusion chamber. So what we see here in the exclusion chambers is very simply these brown paintings. I don't want to make it too elaborate, to speak too much about it, but it's an old background with certain symbols that, put it simply, they represent Horin and Hilah, my daughters, in a symbolic way. But let's not get into it right now. It's not really important. You should know that this is the symbols of Horin and Hilah. And on the other side, we see this kind of like brown background, which is made out of wood and is full of nails. You see, many nails, like a ton of nails was stuck into this piece of wood during for quite some time. Nails. So this will be all for now. I'll update you, and I mean, as we go along in our journey into the chamber of the cherubs. And again, don't, be under the illusion that the people that are torturing me or the people in the street that come here to torture me are in any way different than the millions that will actually attend synagogue this evening and tomorrow. Ultra-Orthodox, Modern Orthodox, חרדים, דתיים לאומיים, חילונים, קיבוצניקים, דתל"שים, דתיים לייט, אתאיסטים, עולים חדשים מרוסיה, עולים חדשים מארצות הברית, they are all the same, they all have large representation in the intelligence community, including the ultra-Orthodox, the Haredim, just so it will be clarified. All of them are represented in tremendous amount in the intelligence communities of Israel, and all of them are murdering and torturing and humiliating without end the person that they owe their life to, and trying to enslave him while he cleans them of their disease that they themselves infected themselves with, at the same time while they attend synagogue in the most holy fashion that can possibly be. These are the people of Israel. These are humans. These are humans.